Wow, God said, I just created a 24-hour period of alternating lightness and darkness on earth. And the excited angel interrupted and said, wow, God, what are you going to do now? Oh, God said, I'm going to call it a day. So we're continuing along with our devotional series that we just began yesterday with Pastor Jeff's first installment of the Apostles' Creed, which began, I believe in God the Father Almighty. And today we're continuing along that opening line of Maker of Heaven and Earth. Maker of Heaven and Earth. I am quite astounded and blown away when I stop and observe the natural world around me. Now, we don't have to go deep into the forest or on some exotic vacation to notice how beautiful the world is around. Let's go in your backyard. I mean, when you're driving, just take a look outside and all of God's beautiful creation and handiwork is there, from the smallest bug to the largest animal to the astounding trees, the riverways, the skyscraping mountains, the deserts, the jungles, just the beautiful forests and the seas and the oceans that cover our planet, and how it all is intimately and intricately symbiotic and joining together to form this beautiful world in which we all live in. From man and woman, with all the creatures and all the plants, and just I'm amazed at the beauty of creation and how it all works together. And then when we stop being distracted from God's artistry and beauty that He placed here on earth, go out on a dark night and get away from the light pollution and take a look up into the sky and look to think and how far away these stars are and the planets. That's some that we can see with the naked eye, and others that we need telescopes. And then we see these pictures from like the Hubble telescope. I have no idea what I'm looking at, but it's so beautiful, and the colors and the vastness and the distance, how far it is away from us. And to think about all that together, from the ant to Chris Hardy here in West Lawn, Pennsylvania, to the Milky Way, and how God had His hand in all of it just really blows me away. God is the maker of heaven and earth, the creator of heaven and earth. Which brings us to today's passage, which I think supports the Apostles' Creed, maker of heaven and earth. Comes from Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. He separated the light from the darkness, separated the waters of the earth from the waters of the heavens. God called the dry ground land, and the water seas. The land produced vegetation. God made two great lights, the larger one to govern the day and the smaller one to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set these lights in the sky to light the earth, to govern the day and night, and to separate the light from the darkness. So God created sea creatures and every living thing that scurries and swarms in the water, and every sort of bird, wild animals, livestock, and small animals. God created human beings in His own image. Then God looked over all He had made, and He saw that it was very good. And that, of course, is a quick rendition, a summary of chapter 1, but then the first 4 verses of Genesis 2. So the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was completed. On the seventh day, God had finished His work of creation, so He rested from all His work. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because it was the day when He rested from all His work of creation. This is the account of creation of the heavens and the earth. Friends, I don't need science. I support science, believe science. I believe God gave us the brains to work in science. But I don't need science to support my faith, so to speak. I believe Scripture. I feel it in my heart. I see God around me. And when I read Genesis 1, I know that God created the heavens and the earth. And this passage tells me straightforward, God had his hands in creating us out of chaos, out of a formless void, putting the stars in the sky and the creatures in the land, including humans that were made in His own image. There's a neat book out called Case for the Creator. It's authored by Lee Strobel. It's a few years old now. Lee Strobel was an investigative journalist from the Chicago Tribune, which he worked for 14 years. And he had a coming to faith moment when he decided to put God to the test, so to speak, and to find and seek out scientific evidence one way or the other that supports the case for a creator, for God. throughout this 300, 400-page book. I believe they made it into a movie recently. The actual scientific evidence is overwhelming that a creator is the only way that we can explain the world in which we live in. So check it out if you're interested in apologetics, is that section of Christianity, which uses science to defend our faith. But quite frankly, I don't need that assurance because I have Scripture, I love God, I love Jesus, and I believe what Scripture says here in Genesis 1, that God is the creator of heaven and earth. And I want you to think about this for a moment. Maybe we could use this for a children's message sometime. But if I have a box, we'll pretend it's a rubber box, or a plastic box rather. I don't know if rubber boxes existed, but a plastic box. And we take in it and we throw in it some butter, some sugar, some brown sugar, a couple of eggs, a dash of water. How about some vanilla extract, baking soda, water, salt, flour, and a good healthy amount of chocolate chips. Now, if I had been shaking it for this entire duration of this devotional so far, and continue to shake it and shake it and shake it and shake it, and even shake it here until Sunday, and maybe even shake it for a month, I guarantee you that those ingredients that I put inside that plastic box are just going to be one big mess. They're not going to somehow make 3 dozen chocolate chip cookies. The ingredients are there, but they did not somehow magically and mysteriously, and by banging into each other and by chance and happenstance over time, those ingredients just didn't form themselves, bake themselves into 36 different chocolate chip cookies. I think that's a great analogy, not perfect, or example of God and creation that just didn't happen by accident. Friends, I hope you found this uplifting. Join us again for tomorrow. And as always, may God be with you until we meet again.